What's up, cereal heads? Welcome to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich. First, we gotta start with the base, the most important ingredient, Roll for Cereal. 6. Reese's Puffs. A classic chocolate and peanut butter cereal, Reese's Puffs was released back in 1994 by General Mills. It wasn't the first chocolate peanut butter cereal, that would be this cereal, which came out a decade earlier. But Reese's Puffs has been going strong for years now, and it holds the peanut butter and chocolate crown for cereals, in my opinion. Next up, roll for toppings. These are the more traditional cereal toppings like fruits and nuts. 2. Bananas. I like bananas on some of the more blander cereals like Rice Krispies, Cheerios, and Kix. They help to add some sweetness. Reese's Puffs doesn't really need sweetness, but bananas do pair well with both chocolate and peanut butter, so not a bad roll. Next, roll for Wild Card. These are non-traditional cereal toppings, and this roll can really make or break the bowl of cereal. 18. Salted peanuts. Okay, could have been worse. Nuts like almonds and walnuts usually go well with most cereals. The question mark here is the salted part. I've never put salted peanuts on cereal before. Maybe it'll be a good balance with the sweetness, but I'm not sold yet. Next up, roll for sauce. I'm not a fan of drizzling sauces on my cereal. Feels a bit chaotic, but on roll for cereal, well, we welcome chaos. 7. Honey. You know what? I'm not mad at that. I like honey roasted peanuts, and honey pairs well with bananas and peanut butter. I think Elvis used to eat a peanut butter, banana, and honey sandwich, right? Finally, roll for milk. Those who've watched Cereal Time know I'm lactose intolerant, so we have an array of milk alternatives here. Let's see what we get. 1. Almond milk. This is probably my favorite milk alternative these days. The faint almond flavor of the milk usually pairs well with most cereal grains like corn, oat, wheat, or rice. I always go for the unflavored or unsweetened milk alternatives. And of course, we need some cereal tunes while enjoying this bowl, so let's roll for music, 1993 edition. 1. Wu-Tang Clan. Enter the Wu-Tang came out back in November of 1993, and it's arguably one of the best debut rap albums of all time. Also, a shameless plug, if you haven't watched Wu-Tang: American Saga on Hulu yet, please go check that out. Final season starts February 15th. Alright, moment of truth. Let's see if the dice help me create a memorable concoction. How do these ingredients taste together? Well, I gotta say I'm pleasantly surprised. All these flavors mesh really well together. The chocolate, peanut butter, and bananas are perfect. The peanuts add a much needed saltiness as well as some crunchy texture, and the sweetness of the honey helps bring all the flavors together. This one's definitely a keeper for me. I'll give it 4 stars, and let's call this bowl the sweet and salty Elvis. Alright, that's gonna do it for Roll for Cereal. Once again, if you haven't watched Roll for Sandwich, please go check out that series. It's the inspiration for this. And until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. First up, as suggested by some people, we have to roll for the bowl. 6. Spilt Milk Bowl. So the cereal gods are helping today because we get the same bowl as last time, my favorite bowl to eat cereal out of. Next up, the star of the show, let's roll for cereal. 7. Chocolate Chex. So Chex was released by Ralston back in 1950, then later sold to General Mills. There have been many varieties, including Corn Chex, Graham Chex, Wheat Chex, Bran Chex, Frosted Mini Chex, Wheat and Raisin Chex, Double Chex, and today we're going to be using good old Chocolate Chex. This cereal is actually a mix of plain rice and chocolate Chex. Not sure why they don't just make them all chocolate, nevertheless it's a tasty cereal. Next up, we're going to roll for the more traditional cereal toppings. That's a 6. Blueberries. I love blueberries. They're a good addition to most cereals. These are just plain non-organic blueberries from the grocery store. So far we got a good bowl of cereal going here, but that could all change as we roll for Wild Card. 14. Skittles. Could be worse, I guess. This bowl doesn't need to be sweeter by adding candy, but hey, at least Skittles have brought back the lime flavor instead of the horrible green apple. Now we have to roll for Drizzle, and as always I'm gonna hope for a 9 to get no sauce. 7. Maple syrup. Well, this is shaping up to be an overly sweet bowl of cereal. I have some organic grade A dark Vermont maple syrup from Trader Joe's. We're not going to smother this bowl with it. Last ingredient, time to roll for milk. 3. Eggnog. Ho ho holy moly, this is getting weird. I have this almond-based holiday nog from Khalifa Farms, and hey, I enjoy a good glass of eggnog for the holidays, maybe add a little rum to it, but eggnog on cereal? Lastly, instead of listening to music this time, we're gonna roll for cartoons. What goes better with a bowl of cereal than Saturday morning cartoons? 12. Galaxy High School. So this aired at 11 a.m. on CBS in the fall of 1986. It's about 2 Earth teenagers who attend an intergalactic high school on an asteroid. Only 13 episodes were made before it was canceled. Alright, moment of truth, let's try this crazy concoction and see how these ingredients come together. So, they don't really come together. The chocolate checks and blueberries are a great pair, and they probably work well with maple syrup, but the Skittles and eggnog take this over the edge. The Skittles were softer when I added them, but the cold eggnog turned them into hard rocks that are hard to chew. The holiday nog is good by itself, but too rich to eat with an entire bowl of cereal. It's not inedible, but it's not something I'll ever try again. I'm gonna give this bowl 1.5 stars, and we'll call it Chex-Mous Rainbow. That's going to do it for this episode of Roll for Cereal. And again, if you've never seen Roll for Sandwich, what are you doing with your life? Go check that out. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Let's get started with Roll for Bowl. 4. Color Me Mine. So Color Me Mine is a DIY pottery store where you can paint pre-made ceramics that they have at the store. My wife and I went on a date night years ago and I made this Fruit Loops inspired cereal bowl. Next up, the star of the show, Roll for Cereal. 2. Grape Nuts. Grape nuts were invented by C.W. Post back in 1897, making it over 125 years old. That puts it in the Century Club, a small number of 100-year-old cereals still on shelves today. Can you guess another cereal that will be joining this club in 2024? Anyway, grape nuts are little hard wheat and barley nuggets. Not a favorite of mine, but clearly many people like them or they wouldn't have lasted this long. Next up, we're going to roll for toppings. 7. Strawberries. Not a bad addition at all. Anything to help bring some sweetness to the grape nuts. I'll spare you watching me slice the strawberries up. Now, this is where things can get weird. It's time to roll for wild card. 8. Boba. So boba are tapioca pearls that you get in boba tea, or probably bubble tea if you live on the East Coast. They're soft, chewy, and sweet. You can boil your own at home, or if you live near a boba tea shop like me, just ask them for a side of boba. Next up, we're gonna roll for drizzle and hope for the best. 9. None. That's what I'm talking about. No sauce on this cereal. Take that, drizzle. You got nothing on me. Hit the road. Don't come back. Let's finish this bowl with the roll for milk. 2. Orange juice. Okay, yeah, I deserve that. Lesson learned, kids. Be gracious winners and losers because the dice remember and they seek revenge. I've only had OJ on cereal once before and it was not good. Alright, we're back to cereal tunes today. Let's roll for music to listen to while trying to enjoy this bowl. 12. Outkast. So Outkast's debut album, Southern Playlistic Cadillac Music, came out in 1994 and it was an instant classic. This album was produced by Organized Noise. It introduced the world to the Dungeon family and put Atlanta on the map for hip-hop. Let's hope this helps with today's bowl. Moment of truth, let's see how this mix of ingredients comes together. So it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. The orange juice definitely ruins it, but if I had rolled any other milk, this would have been a really tasty bowl of cereal. Strawberries, boba, and crunchy grape nuts with a rich, creamy milk would have been delicious. Unfortunately, the citrus of the orange juice is too tangy and it really clashes with the grape nuts. I know there are some people who put OJ on cereal, but good God, why? I'm going to give this one 2 stars, and we'll call it Orange You Nuts About Boba. Almost had a great bowl here. Oh well. That'll do it for Roll for Cereal. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome to Roll for Cereal, the series where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Hope you've had a great 2022 and have an even better 2023. Let's get things started with Roll for Bowl. 2. Disposable. Today it's a plain old compostable disposable bowl. Not the best vessel to eat cereal out of, but here we are. Next up, the bell of the ball, time to roll for cereal. That's a 9. Strawberry Milkshake Frosted Flakes. So these are relatively new to the Frosted Flakes line. Original Frosted Flakes were released by Kellogg's back in 1952. There have been many varieties of Frosted Flakes over the years, but if you haven't tried this new strawberry milkshake version, I highly recommend it. They're great. Sorry, I had to, but seriously, this is a really, really tasty cereal. Next up, let's roll for toppings and see what we get. 5. Freeze-dried fruit. So I have a couple of packs of freeze-dried fruit, including apples, Asian pears, and strawberries and bananas. I'm going to go with this one for obvious reasons, and not only that, but I'm also going to pick out all the banana pieces just to leave us with the freeze-dried strawberries, and I can do that because I make the rules here. Next up, let's roll for wild card. 3. Potato chips. That's not a great cereal topping, so I have this name brand bag of potato chips similar to Lay's. Let's pour them on the cereal and then we'll crush them up into smaller pieces to make them more manageable. Next up, let's hope it doesn't get any worse as we roll for drizzle. 6. Chocolate. Alright, that's actually not a bad match for the strawberry flavor here, and I've actually had chocolate covered potato chips before too. Could have been way worse. Last ingredient now, time to roll for milk. 4. Milk. A lot of people seemed annoyed that I didn't put regular cow's milk on the list, so I made a compromise and got lactose-free milk so I can enjoy it without the pain and misery of the lactose. Fairlife is also another good lactose-free brand. Finally, let's watch some Saturday morning classics while we eat and roll for cartoons. 7. Little Clowns of Happy Town. This cartoon aired at 8:30 on Saturday mornings on ABC in the fall of 1987. It was created by famous TV writer Chuck Lorre, and it's about young clowns from Happy Town whose goal is to spread happiness. They're accompanied by their clown-like animals called Clownimals. The cartoon ran for one season with 18 episodes. Okay, moment of truth, let's see how this mix of ingredients comes together. Will this bowl take me to Happy Town or to Sad Town? Let's see. I gotta say, I'm pleasantly surprised. I really thought the potato chips would ruin this bowl, but the saltiness actually adds a good balance to the sweetness of the cereal and chocolate syrup. The potato chips are really thin and flaky and they kinda match the cereal texture. I'm gonna give this one 3.5 stars, and let's call it Tony's Tater Sundae. You got a strawberry chocolate and creamy milk cereal here. I wouldn't add the potato chips next time, but it's not horrible at all. And the milk is delicious. Alright, that's gonna do it for Roll for Cereal. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome to Roll for Cereal, the series where I let the dice help me craft a bowl of cereal from a mix of unique ingredients. Happy 2023, let's get this year off to a good start. First up, let's roll for bowl. 5. Our Name is Mud. So Our Name is Mud is the name of a ceramics company. They used to have a store in the West Village in New York when I lived there. We bought these complimentary cereal bowls in a few different colors. Always nice to read some compliments while eating cereal. Next up, let's roll for cereal. Another 5. Honey Nut Cheerios.
You ain't got no Honey Nut.
So Honey Nut Cheerios came out back in 1979. It was technically the second variety of Cheerios they tried. The first was Cinnamon Nut, released 3 years before this one, but that one didn't sell too well. The bee, who would later be named Buzz, has been the mascot of this awesome cereal since it hit shelves back in 1979. Next up, let's roll for the more traditional toppings. 6. Freeze-dried fruit. So this is the second time we've rolled this. I only have the Asian pear and the apple bags left. Let's go with the apple this time because even though I love pears, I don't think they'll pair as well with this cereal. I'm gonna break up these dried apple bits and sprinkle them on the Cheerios. Next up, let's hope for the best as we roll for wild card. Another 6, crystallized ginger. This is just ginger that's been cooked and candied with sugar. Some people use it for baking or making mixed drinks. If you like that little spice of ginger, this is a great topping. Next up, my least favorite, let's roll for drizzle. 3, strawberry. Alright, this is shaping up to be a pretty good bowl. I have some Hershey's strawberry syrup here. You can use it to make strawberry milk, and it will definitely flavor our milk in this bowl. But we don't want this to get soggy too quickly, so before we roll for milk, let's roll for music first. 16. Intelligent Hoodlum. So Intelligent Hoodlum was the original name of rapper Tragedy Khadafi, who would later help introduce the world to Capone and Noriega, but back when he started, he was down with the Juice Crew. Marley Marl produced his first album along with a handful of tracks on this second album released in 1993, one of my favorites. Okay, now let's roll for milk. 4. Milk. So once again, we roll regular milk, and as I've mentioned, this is lactose-free milk from Lactaid. I usually go with 1% or 2%. Skim milk is a little too thin for me. Okay, so now it's the moment of truth. Let's see how well all these ingredients come together. I gotta say, this is one of the better rolls I've had so far. The dried apples go well with the delicious Honey Nut Cheerios, the ginger adds a little bite, and the sweetness of the strawberry syrup doesn't conflict with any of the other flavors. And it has the added benefit of turning your milk into strawberry milk. So overall, a really good bowl of cereal. I'm gonna give this one 4.5 stars, and I guess we'll call it ginger berry honey nut. I feel like we can do better than that. Alright, that's gonna do it for Roll for Cereal. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, the series where I let the dice help me craft a bowl of unique cereal from a mix of ingredients. First up, as always, we have to roll for bowl. 6. Spilt Milk Bowl. Always happy when I roll for my favorite bowl. A lot of people have asked where I got this. I bought it on Amazon years ago. Doesn't seem to be available there anymore, but if you Google Spilt Milk Bowl, you can probably find it. Next up, time to roll for cereal. 3. Cinefuego Toast Crunch. So Cinnamon Toast Crunch was released back in 1984, and the original mascots for that cereal were the three bakers, Wendell, Bob, and Quello, but we're not talking about OG Cinnamon Toast Crunch today. This is Cinefuego Toast Crunch, a spicy variety that came out last year, sold in snack pouches. This stuff tastes like big red gum, very artificial cinnamon flavor, but there's a little heat to it, so spice babies beware. Next up, let's roll for topping and see what we get. 0, none, Huh, that's a first. Never rolled no toppings before. Oh well, let's keep it moving while we roll for wild card and hope for the best. 2. Jerky. Well, that's not the best. I have this little bag of regular beef jerky, which is tasty if you're a fan of jerky, and I usually am, but it should not go on cereal as a topping. I'm gonna cut it up into small bits to make it less horrible, but I doubt that will help. Okay, time to roll for drizzle and hope this doesn't get worse. 8. Honey. We've rolled honey before. It's one of the better drizzle rolls, and honey goes great with spicy food like this cereal, but I don't think it can save the jerky, unfortunately. Next, before we add the milk, we're gonna roll for cartoons. 2. It's Punky Brewster. This was a Saturday morning cartoon that aired on NBC in 1985 and 1986. It was a spin-off from the Punky Brewster sitcom, but this cartoon featured a magical leprechaun gopher named Glomer who could transport Punky anywhere on Earth instantly. The show ran for 2 seasons with 26 episodes. Alright, now it's time to roll for milk. Can't get much worse. 1. Water.
We ain't even got no milk. You better put some water on that damn shit.
Why have the dice forsaken me? What did I do to deserve this? I don't think I ever actually tried water on my cereal before. Do people do this? And if so, why? Okay, I guess it's time for the moment of truth. Let's see how all these ingredients come together. So if you're thinking that jerky, spicy cereal, and water don't seem like a good mix, you'd be right. This is pretty awful. I actually really like Cinefuego Toast Crunch, and with a little honey and normal milk it would be delicious. But the dried meat and water, well, they just make this pretty inedible. I'm gonna give it 0 stars. I'm not sure how it could be worse. We'll call this one the Hot Honey Jerk. Normally I do my best to power through and finish the whole bowl, but I'm not gonna do that this time, sorry. I think I'll just watch some cartoons instead. Alright, that's gonna do it for Roll for Cereal. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, the series where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. As always, we have to start things off with Roll for Bowl. 1. Jar. So I knew this would come up eventually, but I'm still disappointed. A long, tall container isn't really the best vessel to consume cereal out of, but the dice are in charge. Let's hope they smile upon me with this next one as we roll for cereal. 2. Grape nuts.
Oh no, not again.
So this is the second time we've rolled grape nuts. It's one of the oldest cereals on shelves at 125 years and still going strong. These crunchy wheat and barley nuggets are not a favorite of mine, and I definitely do not recommend eating them with orange juice. Let's see if we can start improving this bowl as we roll for toppings. 7. Bananas. Okay, things are starting to turn around now. Bananas are one of my favorite cereal toppings. They don't necessarily pair well with super sweet kid cereals, but they can really help sweeten up one of the blander cereals like Kix, Cheerios, regular oatmeal, or something like Grape Nuts here. Next up, let's cross our fingers and roll for wild card. 19. Oreos. Another great roll here. Oreos are probably my favorite store-bought cookies. These chocolate cream sandwich cookies are a great addition to pretty much anything. Oreos make everything better. I think 2 cookies ought to be enough to add to this jar. Next up, we have to roll for drizzle. 6. Chocolate. So as I've mentioned, I don't like adding sauces or syrups to my bowls of cereal, but as long as it's not a fruity cereal, chocolate usually pairs well. And this one has bananas and Oreos, so that's a pretty great combination. Okay, before we add the milk, let's see what we'll be listening to while eating this bowl today as we roll for music. Another 19. Jurassic 5. Jurassic 5 is a LA-based rap group that was formed in 1994, a 6-member group that came together through The Good Life, a cafe here in LA that featured an open mic night and helped contribute to the early 90s LA underground hip-hop scene. Last up now, we have to roll for milk. 8. Almond milk. This is probably my favorite milk alternative. I like the flavor of almond milk, and I only get the original unsweetened variety. It pairs well with most cereals, so this started as a disappointing bowl, but I think we might have turned it around a bit. Moment of truth, let's see how this bowl or jar of cereal tastes. It's a pretty good flavor combination. Bananas, Oreos, chocolate syrup, and almond milk make for a delicious bite of cereal. The weak link here is the grape nuts. They just absorb a lot of the milk and don't add much flavor to what would otherwise be a great combo. And of course the jar doesn't help either, making it harder to eat. I'm going to give this one 3.5 stars and we'll call it Jar Cross Lovers. We got a lot of repeat rolls, so I think it's time to change things up a bit with some of these menus on the next Roll for Cereal. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. You'll notice a few upgrades starting today, from cosmetic changes to a few, I guess we'll call them rule changes too, but as always, we still have to start by rolling for bowl. 8. Spilt milk bowl. If you've watched previous videos, you know this flexible silicone spilt milk bowl is my favorite bowl to eat cereal out of, so off to a good start. Next up wouldn't be roll for cereal without cereal, so let's see what we get here. 4. Mickey Mouse Club. Mickey is no stranger to cereals. There have been a handful of Mickey Mouse cereals throughout the years. This year, Post and Disney teamed up to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company with a couple new cereals, including this Mickey Mouse Club cereal, which is a funfetti birthday cake flavored one. Next up, wild cards. There are 2 wild card jokers in a deck of cards, so from now on we're going to roll 2 wild card dice to see what toppings or surprises we'll add to this bowl. 3 roll for spices, and 19 roll for fresh fruit. Let's resolve these in numerical order and start with roll for spices. 7 cinnamon. Okay, considering the other options there, this was a great roll. Cinnamon goes well with a lot of cereals. Will it work with a birthday cake flavored cereal? Guess we'll find out. We have to resolve that other wild card die now, and we roll for fresh fruit. 5 blueberries. I like blueberries, and before people start commenting, yes, I washed these before adding them. Next up, we have to roll for drizzle. 9 blueberry. Well, at least the flavor profile is staying consistent here. I have this blueberry puree infused syrup. That's an embarrassing drizzle, but I'm doing the best I can here. Now, before we add the milk, we have to see if we're gonna roll for tunes as in music or tunes as in cartoons. And music it is. All right, let's roll for music and see what we'll be listening to. 15 Common. Common Sense, as he was known back then, released his first album in 1992, but this 94 sophomore release, Resurrection, is one of my favorites. Produced primarily by No ID, the standout track is I Used to Love Her, a great melancholic love letter to hip hop. Alright, now it's time to roll for milk. Let's see what we get here. 7 oat milk. This is the first time we've rolled oat milk. I like oat milk, and I always get the original unsweetened variety. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if all these ingredients come together to make a great bowl of cereal. I gotta say, this might be the best bowl I've rolled yet. The fresh blueberries and blueberry syrup are a great match for the sweet funfetti cake flavor. The cinnamon is really faint, but it adds a nice spice, and the oat milk adds a richness. I'm gonna give this one 5 stars, and we'll call it Mickey's Blueberry Birthday Bash. Finally got our first 5-star bowl here on Roll for Cereal. If you're a cereal head who wants to chat with fellow cereal lovers, swing by discord.cerealtime.tv and introduce yourself. We're a growing, small, friendly, cereal-loving community. Alright, well that's it for Roll for Cereal. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, the series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Tuesday, let's get things started. As always, first up, let's roll for bowl 7. Our Name is Mud. This is a ceramics company that used to sell these fun complimentary cereal bowls. We bought a few in different colors back when they had a shop in New York. Next, we have the star of the show. Time to roll for cereal. 10. Golden Grams. I feel like Golden Grams is a criminally underrated cereal. This honey-sweetened graham cracker cereal was first released by General Mills back in 1976. I remember some classic 90s commercials for this cereal featuring Andre Agassi. If you mix this with chocolate and marshmallows, you can make a delicious s'more cereal. Next up, roll for wild cards. Remember, we roll 2 dice for this one. 3 warm the milk, and 13 roll for cookies. We'll get to the milk in a second when we roll for it, but first let's see what we're topping this cereal with as we roll for cookies. 6 Thin Mints, one of my favorite cookies. It's that time of year again when you can buy Girl Scout cookies, and if you're looking at these Thin Mints and you're thinking they look a little different than yours, you might be right. There are 2 separate bakeries that make Girl Scout cookies, so depending on your region of the country, you can get versions with different recipes and even different names. Okay, next up, it's time to roll for drizzle. 9 honey. The drizzled dice gods really seem to prefer honey, as we rolled this a few times now. Honey goes great with most cereals, and especially Golden Grams, so I'm not mad at this drizzle. Next, let's see if we'll be listening to some tunes or watching some tunes. Cartoons it is. Let's break out the 20-sided die and roll for cartoons. 7 California Raisins. The California Raisins show was a cartoon that aired on CBS on Saturday mornings in 1989. The raisins were originally conceived as mascots for Sun-Maid raisins and started as a claymation commercial. Each episode featured musical numbers which were originally performed by Motown artists. There are only 13 episodes of this cartoon. Okay, finally let's see what milk will be warming up here and adding to the cereal. 8 oat milk. Second time in a row we've rolled oat milk. I'm gonna pour some in a microwave safe glass and then let's heat it up in the microwave.
What up, Chris? I'm about to. What up, Chris? 'Cause that's what I'm going to do.
I don't love the idea of warm milk on cereal, but I'm told that some people do this and we do what the dice tell us to do. Alright, moment of truth, let's see if these ingredients come together to create a tasty bowl of cereal. So golden grams with a little chocolate and honey is a great combination, and if you like mint with your chocolate like I do, even better. I wish we had some marshmallows to make it more like s'mores, but the warm oat milk is the only thing ruining this bowl for me. I'm gonna give it 3 stars and we'll call this one Honey I Ruined the S'mores. If the milk was cold, this would have gotten another star for sure. I've heard people like warm milk with Apple Jacks, but it just doesn't work for this concoction. This is the first time I've tried warm milk with cereal, and I don't recommend it. Alright, well that'll do it. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday, let's get this weekend off to a good start today. As always, up first we have to roll for bowl. 4. Ramen. First time we've rolled the ramen bowl, we gotta get rid of these chopsticks, even though I'm sure some of you would like to see me eat cereal with them. This ramen spoon, however, will stay and we'll use it to eat with today. Next up, let's roll for cereal. 10. Blueberry Muffin Tops. This cereal was first released by Malt-O-Meal back in 2004, and it quickly became a cult classic, with the leader of that cult being Justin McElroy. If you don't know him, Google him. It's been discontinued and reintroduced a couple times now. It's currently available in bag form under the name Blueberry Muffin Toasters for a limited time at select Walmarts. It's a great cereal with an amazing blueberry flavor. I highly recommend it. Next up, let's see how we'll be modifying this cereal as we roll for wild cards. 7. Roll for cookies, and 11. Freezer. 7 and 11, great craps roll. We'll get to freezer in a second, but first let's roll for cookies. 2. Lemonades, another Girl Scout cookie. Lemonades are called lemon ups in some regions of the country, but they're pretty similar. These are shortbread cookies with a lemon glaze on the bottom. Lemon and blueberry go together well, so this is a flavor combo I'm excited to try. Okay, now for that other wild card, we're gonna toss this bowl into the freezer for about 30 minutes. I've never tried this before, but a lot of people online swear by freezing your cereal before adding milk. They say it makes it crisper and improves the flavor. While we wait, let's keep it moving. Now we have to roll for drizzle. 8. Strawberry. Okay, blueberry and strawberry, both in the berry family, so this shouldn't be too offensive flavor-wise. Next, let's see what milk we'll be adding to this cold bowl of cereal. 6. Rice milk. First time we've rolled this milk, I go with the Rice Dream Classic version. Okay, now let's see if we'll be listening to tunes as in music or watching tunes as in cartoons. Music it is. Alright, let's break out the purple 20-sided die and roll for music. 19. Black Moon. Black Moon is a rap group from Brooklyn consisting of Buckshot, 5 Foot, and Evil D. This debut album was released back in 1993. Buck rhymed solo on most of the tracks, and Evil D and his brother, Mr. Walt, known as the Beatminers, produced this classic album that helped lead the resurgence of New York hip-hop in the early 90s. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. Let's go grab this frozen bowl and add our ingredients. We'll drizzle it with some strawberry syrup, and then we'll hit it with some rice milk. The bowl definitely has some frostiness around the edges here. Moment of truth, let's see if these ingredients come together to make a great bowl of cereal. This is a pretty good flavor mixture. The crunchy blueberry cereal, the tangy lemon shortbread, they hit nicely. I kind of wish it was blueberry drizzle instead of strawberry. Freezing the cereal does make it a little crisper and adds another unique layer. I'm going to give this bowl 4 out of 5 stars and we'll call it Frosty the Muffin Man. The frozen cereal gimmick was interesting and I liked it, but don't think I'll have enough patience to wait 30 minutes in the future when I want a bowl now. Alright, well that'll do it for another episode of Roll for Cereal. Have a great weekend and until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Tuesday, a little change of pace today. My wife wants to try her luck, so she'll be rolling the dice today for me. Alright, no one's here to see your dashing diva nails. They're here for the cereal, so let's get started with Roll for Bowl. 2. Tupperware. This is the first time we've rolled this, just a plain Rubbermaid Tupperware container. Nothing fun or exciting about this. Next up, the star of the show, it's time to roll for cereal. 5. Rice Krispies. Rice Krispies was first released by Kellogg's back in 1927, making it 96 years old. The mascot trio of Snap, Crackle, and Pop debuted in the 30s, with Snap starting by himself in 1933, and the other two appearing a few years later. The cereal is just rice and sugar mashed into a paste and then formed into rice shapes, dried and toasted. Okay, next up, time to roll for wild cards. 3. Warm the milk, and 9. Toasted marshmallows. We'll get to the milk in a second. First, let's toast some marshmallows. We got this mini Jet Puff marshmallows here. We'll throw a handful on the plate, break out the torch, and... Fire! Fire! Let's get these marshmallows nice and toasty. Oh, we got a few flames there. We'll just blow those out. They look nice and toasty. Now, let's add them to our bowl of Rice Krispies and move right along to the next ingredient. It's time to roll for drizzle. 3, caramel or caramel, either way you say it is correct. This is just run-of-the-mill caramel syrup you put on ice cream. Shaping up to be a really nice bowl here. Finally, we got a roll for milk. 7, almond milk. Last time we got to warm the milk, it was oat milk. We'll see if almond is any better as we pour a glass and stick it in the microwave. While we wait, let's keep it moving. Since my wife is rolling today, she wanted to do music, and we made the choices based off some of her favorite artists. Let's see what we get here. 8, Benito. I don't need to tell you about Bad Bunny. He's one of the most popular artists in the world. I saw him in concert once where he put on a great show. My Spanish is terrible, so my wife translates lyrics for me, but even if you don't speak Spanish, his songs are bangers. He's a passionate activist for his home in Puerto Rico, and he has some impressive moves off the top rope in a wrestling ring. Okay, now this rice milk is all warmed up, let's pour it over our bowl of Rice Krispies, listen to that snap, crackle, and pop, and now it's the moment of truth. Let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl. They definitely did. This stuff tastes amazing. The toasted marshmallows make this like eating Rice Krispies treats, and the caramel adds some more sweetness. The weak link, once again, is the warm milk. But I'm still gonna give this bowl 4.5 stars, and we'll call it Caramel Krispies treats. It would have been a 5-star bowl if the milk was cold or even room temperature. Nonetheless, I really enjoyed it, so shout out to my wife for hitting us with some great rolls today. That'll do it for this episode. See you on Friday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Got Lakers colors today, did not think that one through. I'm not a Lakers fan. Anyway, as always, up first we have to roll for bowl. 3, disposable. Just a large size, disposable, and compostable bowl here. Not the best bowl, but also not the worst. Next up, let's see what will be the star of the show today as we roll for cereal. 8, Oops All Berries. So Cap'n Crunch with Crunch Berries came out back in 1967. Then in 1997, they released an Oops All Berries cereal that was only berries, no Cap'n Crunch. Then a few months ago, they released this Oops All Red Berries version, which is just the same cereal but with only red Crunch Berries. Crunch Berries have a nice crunchy texture and a generic fruity berry flavor. Next up, let's roll for wild cards. 6, chocolate shavings, and 9, toasted marshmallows. 6 and 9, nice. So for chocolate shavings, I'm going to take this Lindt dark chocolate bar and use a regular peeler to scrape off some chocolate ribbons and shavings. And this is the second time we've rolled toasted marshmallows. We'll pour a few on the plate here, break out the torch, and flame on. Let's roast these little fellas without starting a fire this time. Now we'll add these to the bowl of Crunch Berries and chocolate. Next up, time to roll for drizzle. 6, black cherry. I have this black cherry puree syrup. I love this flavor and it goes well with chocolate and berry flavors, so shaping up to be another great bowl here. Now we gotta see if we'll be listening to some tunes or watching some tunes. Cartoons it is. Break out the 20-sided die and roll for cartoons. 17, Hulk Hogan's Rockin' Wrestling. This cartoon aired on CBS and Saturday mornings from 1985 to 1986. It featured Hulk Hogan and a handful of face or good guy wrestlers fighting against the heels or villains led by Roddy Piper. Piper became a face in 1986 in the WWF, but remained a heel in the cartoon. The show lasted 2 seasons and there are about 30 episodes. Next up, let's roll for milk. 2, chocolate almond milk. Well, I'm not sure there could be a better bowl for this milk. I get the unsweetened almond breeze variety. I think this will go well with what we've rolled here, but moment of truth, let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal. This is another banger, and this feels like something I should have rolled on Tuesday for Valentine's Day. The berry cereal, chocolate shavings, marshmallows, black cherry sauce, and chocolate milk mixed together perfectly. This is going to be another 5-star bowl, and we'll call this one My Sweet Valentine. The dice gods have been smiling upon me. Let's hope this trend continues. I'm going to go watch this Hulk Hogan cartoon and maybe make myself another bowl of this delicious cereal combo. I'll see you on Tuesday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Valentine's Day. I have some shameless self-promotion to get to at the end of this video, so we'll be doing a speed run today. Try and keep up. First up, roll for bowl. 3, disposable. You've seen it, you know what it is. Nothing special, let's keep it moving. Next up, we're gonna roll for cereal. 6, Reese's Puffs Minis. So we've already had Reese's Puffs before, and this is the exact same cereal, it just comes in miniature form. The cereal comes in miniature form, not the box. So yeah, just good old chocolate and peanut butter mini puffs. Let's move right along, time to roll for wild cards. 3, roll for spices, and 17, cereal marbits. So cereal marbits are just a technical term for cereal marshmallows. I have this bag of Lucky Charms marbits here that you can add to the bowl of Reese's Puffs. Now let's hope we don't ruin this bowl with roll for spices. 4. Sea salt. Okay, we got pretty lucky here. Adding a little sea salt to a cereal like this will probably help bring out that peanut flavor. Next up, let's roll for drizzle. 6. Marshmallow. Well, we already have Marbits, so can't hurt to add more. I have this marshmallow sauce from Smucker's that I'm just going to try to spoon over the cereal here. It's a lot harder to drizzle than I expected. And yes, I know what it looks like. Let's try to be mature adults here, people. Okay, we're not going to roll for music today. I'm just going to force another Wu-Tang track on you, which I'll explain in a second. This one is off their second album, Wu-Tang Forever, which came out in 1997. And finally, we have to roll for milk. 5. Cow's milk. I have this fat-free lactate milk today. It should go really well with this bowl. I'm excited to try this one. Moment of truth. Let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal. I have high hopes for this one. And it does not disappoint. You got your chocolate, you got your peanut butter, you got your marshmallows times 2, and a little salt to bring out all the flavors. This is how we do it. We've been on a great streak of bowls, and the streak continues. I'm gonna give this one 5 stars, and I'll call it Reese's Puffs Marshmallow Man. Guess I could have called it Here Comes the Reese's Puffs Marshmallow Man. Anyway, now on to the shameless self-promotion. Tomorrow is Wu Wednesday and the premiere of the 3rd and final season of Wu-Tang: An American Saga on Hulu. If you're a Wu-Tang fan, I think you'll really like this show, and we have some cool, unique episodes for you this final season. If you have Hulu, go binge the first 2 seasons and check out this new season starting tomorrow. If you don't have Hulu, borrow someone's account and check it out. And lastly, if you happen to live in New York City, there'll be a preview screening of an upcoming episode at the 92nd Street YMCA in a couple weeks. There'll be a panel hosted by Sway with some of the cast like Shameik, Sadiq, TJ, and Dave East. There's no way Dave actually shows up for this, but RZA will be there, and if they sell out or you don't live in New York, you can always get tickets to watch the panel online. Head over to 92ny.org. Okay, thank you for being patient and listening to me ramble here. Promise it will not become a regular occurrence. I will see you on Friday. Until then, remember that Wu-Tang is forever, and stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday. Let's get this weekend off to a good start. Up first, let's roll for bowl. 4. Ramen bowl. So we've had this bowl before. We won't be using the chopsticks to eat this cereal, but we'll keep that ramen spoon. Next up, let's roll for cereal. 7. Apple Pie Toast Crunch. As you probably know, there have been lots of Cinnamon Toast Crunch varieties over the years, and for the past few holiday seasons, they've released Sugar Cookie Toast Crunch cereal for a limited time, and now this Apple Pie Toast Crunch has made a holiday appearance a couple times as well. It's a great variety that tastes a lot like apple pie. Okay, next up, it's time to roll for wild cards. 4. Crystallized ginger, and 10. Prize inside. What is prize inside? Inside this little cereal box here is a deck of cards, a deck of prizes, if you will. But just like prizes in cereal boxes of yore, some are good, some are bad, and some are just neutral. Each card features a different original character. Cereal heads will recognize these as references to classic cereal mascots. Each character will give us a task or unique abilities, some good, some not so good. We'll draw one card and follow the instructions. The Crook. With this card, we have to subtract 3 from all of our dice rolls. This card must be played on our next turn, meaning during the next episode of Roll for Cereal, so it'll sit here until then, and after it's played, it will disappear, never to be played again. But now we have to return the cards to their box and get back to our current bowl. And our second wild card for this bowl was Crystallized Ginger. This is just candied ginger, and it should go well with the apple pie flavor. Next up, we have to roll for Drizzle. 7. Maple syrup. We've got maple syrup a few times now, but this might be the best use of it. It'll add a sort of sweet, liquidy center to replicate that apple pie filling. Okay, are we gonna listen to some tunes or are we gonna watch some tunes? Cartoons it is. Let's roll for cartoons. 16. Teen Wolf. The original Teen Wolf was a 1985 movie with Michael J. Fox that was really entertaining. Coming off the success of that movie, they released a Saturday morning cartoon in the fall of 1986 on CBS. It's about a family who can transform into werewolves. It focused on themes like coming of age, and it ran for 2 seasons. Okay, finally, let's roll for milk. 6. Rice milk. We have some original classic Rice Dream rice milk. Let's add that to our apple pie bowl of cereal. And moment of truth, let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal. So our hot streak is still going. Apple Pie Toast Crunch, it's great by itself, and the addition of candied ginger and maple syrup makes it a little sweeter and spicier in a really good way. Not a 5-star bowl, but I'll give this one 4 stars and we'll call it Spiced Holiday Apple Pie. I'm happy we've been getting some great bowls of cereal as of late, but I fear this Crook card will put that hot streak to bed in the next episode. Hopefully Hopefully we can roll some high numbers. Check back on Tuesday to see how it plays out. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Last episode we drew the crook card, which means we have to subtract 3 from all our dice rolls today. Let's hope we roll some high numbers and stay away from the less desirable lower items on the list. Okay, first up, let's roll for bowl. 6, which the crook turns into a 3, disposable. Yeah, just a disposable and compostable cereal bowl. You've seen it, you know it. Next up, let's roll for cereal and pray for 5 or higher. 5, so that turns into a 2 and becomes IHOP cereal. So this is a new cereal recently released by General Mills, who paired with IHOP to release a mini pancake cereal. This is a blueberry and syrup flavored cereal. It is supposed to resemble mini pancakes, but cereal heads will recognize this as just a different colored Cookie Crisp cereal. Okay, next up, let's roll for wild cards. 9 and 14, which becomes 6 and 11, chocolate shavings and roll for cereal. So it looks like we'll be adding another cereal to this bowl before the chocolate shavings. 8, which the crook turns to a 5, and that's Trix Minis. So just like Reese's Puff Minis, this is just like regular Trix cereal in miniature form. The cereal is mini, not the box. And these are the original sphere shapes, not the fruit-shaped Trix that some of you grew up with. Okay, now let's break out the Lindt dark chocolate bar and shave off a few ribbons for the chocolate shavings. It's a weird mix of flavors, but not horrible yet. Let's hope for the best as we roll for drizzle. 4, which becomes 1, grape jelly. Okay, look, I love grape flavored things, especially grape jelly on a good PB&J sandwich, but little dabs of grape jelly on cereal, not something I'm excited to try. Let's see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes while eating this bowl. Cartoons it is. Okay, let's roll for cartoons. 8, which turns into a 5, and that's Care Bears. So Care Bears were originally these multicolored, lovable bears used on greeting cards. They got their own Saturday morning cartoon on ABC in 1986. The Care Bears live up in the clouds in Care-a-Lot, part of the Kingdom of Caring, and they go on missions to thwart the evil plans of Lord No Heart. It was a great cartoon that ran for 3 seasons. I love the Care Bears. Okay, last up, now we have to roll for milk. 2, can't subtract any lower than 1 for this, and that's flavored creamer. So I have this Rice Krispies Treats Coffee Mate Creamer. This stuff has a nice sweet Rice Krispies Treats flavor, but it's a little too sweet and too rich to use as a milk for cereal. I blame the crook card for this. Well, moment of truth, let's see if all these ingredients come together to create a good bowl of cereal. Yeah, so not really. The IHOP blueberry pancakes and the Trix Minis are a great fruity combo, but the chocolate, grape jelly, and Rice Krispies Treats creamer just make this too busy with contrasting flavors and textures. I'm gonna give this one 2.5 stars, and we'll call it Rooty Tooty Fresh and Fruity. IHOP fans will get that reference. Okay, well at least we can trash the crook card and not worry about that again. I'm gonna go back and figure out what this bowl would have looked like without subtracting 3 for each roll. I'll see you on Friday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday, let's get this weekend off to a great start. First up, let's roll for bowl. 8, spilt milk bowl. It's always a good day when I roll this silicone spilt milk bowl. It's my favorite bowl to eat cereal out of. Next up, time to roll for cereal. 6, Corn Pops. Corn Pops were introduced by Kellogg's back in 1950, and they went through a few name changes from Corn Pops to Sugar Corn Pops to Sugar Pops, and then back to Corn Pops in 1984. They've had a handful of mascots over the years, from Sugar Pops Pete to Big Yella to Poppy. Nowadays, there's no mascot. The cereal is crunchy, sweetened, popped up corn, and it's very different than its Canadian counterpart. Gotta have my Pops. Okay, next we have to roll for wild cards. 3, roll for spices, and 17, cereal Marbits. We've rolled this wild card combo before. First, we'll start with the Marbits, which is just the name for cereal marshmallows. I have this bag of Lucky Charms Marbits. Next up, we'll roll for spices. 3, tahine. This is just a simple seasoning mix consisting of chili peppers, lime, and sea salt. It goes great on mango and pineapple. Corn Pops? We'll see. Next up, time to roll for drizzle. 0, pickle juice.
I have a surplus of pickle juice in my apartment.
I knew this day would come eventually. I like pickles, but not on cereal. I have this jar of kosher dills, and I'll just take a little dropper of the pickle juice and drip it onto the cereal. Not too much though. Okay, let's see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes today. Music it is. Alright, let's roll for music. 4, Mobb Deep. Mobb Deep is the Queensbridge rap duo of Havoc and Prodigy. They released their first album, Juvenile Hell, in 1993. This sophomore release on Loud Records, called The Infamous, was a smash hit, mostly produced by Havoc with some help from Q-Tip. This is an essential early 90s New York hip-hop album. Okay, last ingredient, let's roll for milk. 5. Cow's milk. So I'm still using this fat-free lactate milk, which is a regular milk, nothing special, but with the acid of the pickle juice, I'm afraid it will lead to some curdling. Moment of truth, let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal. As you can probably guess, they do not. This actually would have been a pretty tasty bowl, except the pickle juice ruined it. Sweetened corn with marshmallows, chili lime seasoning, and milk, that's a great combo, but the sour vinegar of the pickles pushes this in the wrong direction. I'm gonna give this one star, and we'll call it sour street corn. It's not inedible, but definitely too much pickle juice. Okay, friendly reminder, you can stop by discord.cerealtime.tv to join our Discord cereal community and chat with fellow cereal heads. Hopefully we get some better bowls on Tuesday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Tuesday, let's see if we can get back to rolling some good bowls of cereal. First up, we got a roll for bowl. 2. Tupperware. Someone in the comments told me that Rubbermaid and Tupperware are not the same, so let's just call this a plastic food storage container. Next up, let's roll for cereal. 7. Cocoa Pebbles Crunched. So you're all familiar with both Fruity and Cocoa Pebbles cereals released by Post back in 1971. Fred and Barney have offered a handful of varieties over the years. The latest is this new Pebbles Crunched version of the cereal. It has the same flavor as the sister cereal, but that's where the similarities end. This is just crunchy corn stars that don't resemble the rice-based Pebbles cereal in any way. Next up, let's roll for wild cards. 14 roll for nuts, and 20 player's choice. What should I choose from this list? You know, I think I'm gonna play it safe and go with chocolate shavings. I know we've done chocolate shavings a few times now, but when I don't know what else is coming up next, I feel like chocolate on chocolate is the best way to go. Alright, now we have to roll for nuts. 5. Pecans or pecans. You say it however you want and don't let anyone try to tell you there's a right way or wrong way. I have this bag of pecan halves that I'll pour on the cereal, but they're a little too big, so I'm gonna break them up into smaller, more manageable pieces. Okay, next up we have to roll for drizzle. 8. Chocolate. So the dice gods are on our side today. Chocolate syrup on chocolate cereal with chocolate shavings. All we need now is some chocolate milk to seal the deal. But first, let's see if we'll be listening to tunes today or watching tunes. Music it is. Let's roll the 20-sided die for music. 7. Eric B. and Rakim. Paid in Full is the debut album of Eric B. and Rakim, released in 1987 on 4th and Broadway Records. Rakim is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and he pretty much inspired every New York rapper who would follow. This album has countless quotables and has been sampled by like everyone. If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend it. Okay, now let's roll for milk. 4. Banana milk. So I've never tried banana milk before. I saw it on the shelf next to other milk alternatives and thought I should give it a go. Looks like it's banana puree, filtered water, and oats, so kind of like a banana oat milk, I guess. Okay, moment of truth. Let's see if these ingredients come together to create a good bowl of cereal. Yep, this one is a keeper. You got the chocolate cereal with the chocolate shavings and the chocolate syrup. The nuts add a nice crunchy texture, and the banana flavored milk goes great with the abundance of chocolate here. I'm gonna give this one 4.5 stars, and we'll call it Chocolate Chunky Monkey. If it was regular Cocoa Pebbles instead, it would have gotten 5 stars. Some people have asked for music playlists, so you can go to either spotify.cerealtime.tv or applemusic.cerealtime.tv and play all the songs we've listened to here on Roll for Cereal. I'll keep them updated. Okay, see you on Friday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday, let's get this weekend off to a good start. First up, as always, we got a roll for bowl. 2. Disposable. We've rolled this a few times now, you know it, simple compostable bowl here. Next up is the star of the show, let's roll for cereal. 8. Apple Fritter. So recently up north in Canada, they released a Tim Hortons Apple Fritter cereal. We didn't get that one here in the US, but Walmart released a generic brand Apple Fritter cereal, which is essentially the same thing. One of my favorite apple fritters are the ones from Voodoo Donuts. Next up, time to roll for wild cards. 14 roll for nuts, and 16 Pop-Tarts. Let's start with the Pop-Tarts. I have these frosted strawberry Pop-Tarts in my pantry. Do you toast your Pop-Tarts or eat them raw? We're not going to be toasting them for this bowl here. Just one Pop-Tart will suffice, and I'll break it up into more manageable pieces. Then we have to roll for nuts. 2 2, pistachios. So I only have these shelled, lightly salted pistachios. I love pistachios, but I'm a little worried about how the salted ones will mix with these sweet ingredients. Next up, we got a roll for drizzle. 7, strawberry. The strawberry syrup will go nicely with the strawberry Pop-Tarts. Strawberries are one of my favorite berries, and if you just went to the comments to tell me that strawberries aren't berries, you can go ahead and stop typing. I'm not a botanist, you're probably not a botanist, so I think we can all agree to just keep calling them berries. Okay, time to roll for milk. 8, almond milk. We've gotten this milk a lot. As always, I use the unsweetened original Almond Breeze version, but before we pour it, we gotta see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes today. And some people didn't like the fact that we were flipping a coin instead of rolling, so we fixed that. We got a 6-sided die with 3 music and 3 cartoons. Music it is. And another change here, we've expanded the tunes and tunes list, and we're gonna roll a supersized D30. That's a 30-sided die. 8, Jeru the Damaja. Jeru is an often slept on MC from Brooklyn. He first appeared on a Gang Starr album, then in 1994 he released his debut album, The Sun Rises in the East. This album was produced entirely by DJ Premier, arguably the best hip-hop producer of all time. Fun fact, my first day of college in New York, I literally ran right into Jeru in Washington Square Park. Anyway, this is one of my favorite albums of the 90s. Okay, now we can pour the almond milk and moment of truth. Let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal. The apple fritter cereal is great, I highly recommend it. And the strawberry flavors of the Pop-Tart and the syrup taste great with the apple flavor of the cereal, but the salted pistachios just feel out of place. It's not so much the salt, but just the flavor of the nuts with these other ingredients. Could be worse though. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars and we'll call it Straw Apple Stash. Anyway, friendly reminder that you can go to spotify.serialtime.tv or applemusic.serialtime.tv if you want to check out the playlist for all the songs featured here on Roll for Cereal. I'll see you on Tuesday, which also happens to be National Cereal Day. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Today is National Cereal Day, so I hope you celebrate with a bowl of your favorite cereal. Let's get things started with Roll for Bowl. 4, Honey Bowl. First time we've rolled Honey Bowl. This is a beautifully crafted honeybee inspired cereal bowl I bought from Lake Lismore Pottery on Etsy. It's such a cool design with the honeycomb, the bees, and the textured honey drips. Next up, let's roll for cereal. 9, Cheerios Oat Crunch. There have been many Cheerios varieties and flavors over the years, but Cheerios Oat Crunch has to be one of my favorites. It's a sweetened Cheerios mixed with little crunchy oat clusters. In 2018, they released a cinnamon version, followed up with oats and honey, and then last year they released this berry flavored version. That's what we're going to be using today. It's got a nice sweet fruity flavor with that crunchy oat texture. Alright, let's grab 2 D20s and time to roll for wild cards. 13 shredded coconut and 20 player's choice. Since we have a berry flavored cereal, I think I'm gonna roll for fresh fruit and hope for the best. 3 raspberries. Perfect, we got a berry to go with a berry flavored cereal. And yes, I know that raspberries aren't technically berries. Also, yes, I washed the fruit before adding it. Now let's add the second wild card, the shredded coconut. This is lightly sweetened coconut flakes. Next up, it's time to roll for drizzle. 3 orange marmalade. So I bought a few flavors of these cereal syrups from this company called Syrup. This tangy orange marmalade should go well with the fruit and coconut. Now on to the last ingredient, time to roll for milk. 4 soy milk. I have this unsweetened plain soy milk. It's probably one of my least favorite milk alternatives. But before we pour the milk, we gotta see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes. Saturday morning cartoons it is. We expanded the cartoons list and we're using a D30. 10, Smurfs. You know the Smurfs. They're tiny blue creatures that live in mushroom houses in a peaceful forest, and they try to outwit Gargamel, the evil sorcerer. The cartoon, produced by Hanna-Barbera, aired on Saturday mornings on NBC, started in 1981, and ran for 9 seasons with over 250 episodes, making it one of the most successful and longest-running Saturday morning cartoons in history, spawning TV specials and movies throughout the years. Okay, let's add the soy milk to our cereal concoction now, and moment of truth, let's see if these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal. The Dice Gods blessed us with a top-tier bowl of cereal for National Cereal Day today. The berry flavor of the cereal goes great with the fresh raspberries, coconut, and tangy marmalade. We've had 3 5-star bowls so far in this series, and this is going to be the 4th one. And I'll call this one Cheerios Fruit Cocktail. Lastly, before I go, I just want to say that if I shout out something like this honey bowl or the cereal syrup, it's because I bought it and I like it. I don't do paid promotions in these videos, no judgment for those who do, it's just not my thing and not something I intend to do. I'm not here to sell you stuff. Okay, happy National Cereal Day. Until Friday, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday, hope you have a fun and relaxing weekend. Let's get things started with Roll for Bowl. 5. Color Me Mine. We got this bowl back in episode 3. I made it at Color Me Mine Ceramic Shop. It's supposed to be a Fruit Loops inspired cereal bowl. Next up, time to roll for cereal. 3. Blueberry Muffin Tops. Second time we've gotten this cereal. As I mentioned before, Blueberry Muffin Tops were first released back in 2004 and they've been discontinued a handful of times. They're currently back for a limited time at Walmart under the name Blueberry Muffin Toasters, but this delicious cereal loved by Justin McElroy will inevitably be gone again soon. Okay, next up, it's time to roll for wild cards. 8. Space Ice Cream, and 17. Cereal Marbits. We've gotten Marbits a few times now, that's just the technical term for cereal marshmallows. I have these Lucky Charms ones here, and Space Ice Cream, or Astronaut Ice Cream, is the freeze-dried ice cream they used to sell in foil packs when I was a kid. Supposedly they never actually ate this stuff in space. I'm gonna break up this block of vanilla ice cream in the pack into smaller pieces so it's more manageable to pour on the cereal. Next up, time to roll for drizzle. 5. Black Cherry. Second time we've rolled this one too. It's a black cherry puree syrup and has a nice tangy cherry flavor that should go well with the blueberry cereal. Okay, last ingredient, now it's time to roll for milk. 2. Blue Milk. I assume most of you have seen Star Wars, but for those who haven't, blue milk is milk that comes from banthas. They are hairy large mammals with horns and mostly live in the deserts of Tatooine. But before we pour the milk, we gotta see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes. Music it is. Let's break out the 30-sided die and roll for music. 19. Dr. Dre. I almost forgot Dre was on this list. So The Chronic was released on Death Row Records back in 1992. Obviously before that he was known as a member of NWA, but this was his first solo release. He produced the entire album, which helped popularize the G-Funk genre and helped introduce the world to Snoop Dogg. He's a masterful producer and he hires some great ghostwriters whenever he decides to step in the booth. Okay, let's hit this bowl of cereal with some blue milk, and now it's the moment of truth. Will these ingredients come together to make a great bowl of cereal? I really thought this would be better than it turned out. The blueberry muffin cereal is great. Cereal Marbits, great. Black cherry sauce, great. Even the blue milk is great. But the texture and flavor of the vanilla space ice cream kind of brings it down. And it's a little too sweet for my palate. I'm going to give this bowl 3.5 stars, and I'm going to call it Feeling Blue. I feel like with a few tweaks this could have been a top tier bowl, but not everything can be 5 stars. Friendly reminder, there are playlists for all the music played here on Roll for Cereal. Check out spotify.cerealtime.tv or applemusic.cerealtime.tv. We'll try to top this roll on Tuesday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Let's get things started as always with Roll for Bowl. 5. Our Name is Mud. This is a complimentary cereal bowl I got from a ceramics company called Our Name is Mud. It's not a Primus reference, that phrase has existed long before the band made it popular. Moving on, now it's time to roll for cereal. 1. Crave.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
So longtime viewers of Cereal Time know that Crave is probably one of my least favorite cereals of all time. It was first released by Kellogg's in the UK back in 2010 and then brought stateside in 2012. It's a divisive cereal. Lots of people, mostly younger than me, seem to love it, but it's just not my jam. It gets soggy really quickly in milk too. Let's see if wild cards can help improve this disastrous bowl. 3. Flaxseed, and 14. Roll for nuts. So let's start with the flaxseed. Flax seeds are seeds from the common flax plant. They're high in fiber and omega-3 fatty acids and can be a healthy addition to cereals, yogurt, oatmeal, etc. Let's roll for nuts now and see what we get. 3. Walnuts. I have these walnut halves and pieces, which might be a little big and need to be broken up. Walnuts are also high in omega-3 fatty acids and are sometimes called brain food, but I'm not a nutritionist, so you should probably take anything I say with a grain of salt, and you should probably eat a little less salt too. Okay, next up, roll for drizzle. 5. Peanut butter. We're not going to be using real peanut butter. Instead, I have this Reese's peanut butter topping that you can pour over ice cream. It's a little thinner, more syrupy than just regular peanut butter. Okay, last ingredient, time to roll for milk. Another 5, coconut milk. So not the best milk alternative. This unsweetened coconut milk is great for cooking and making soups with, just not ideal to pour over a bowl of cereal. And before we do pour it, we gotta see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes today. Cartoons it is. Let's break out the D30 and see what we'll be watching today. 12. Mr. T. This Mr. T cartoon aired on Saturday mornings on NBC from 1983 to 1985. The show stars Mr. T as the coach of a gymnastics team that travels the world and gets involved in solving mysteries. The show even spawned its own cereal, which you might have seen on my cereal wall. Okay, let's hit this bowl of Crave with some coconut milk and moment of truth. Will these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal? Nah, this one had no chance of success for me. We have walnuts, peanuts from the peanut butter, and coconuts from the coconut milk, but all those nuts couldn't save this bowl for me. And yes, I know coconuts aren't really nuts. It's just really hard to make me enjoy a bowl of Crave cereal. I'm gonna give this one half a star and we'll call it Not Nuts About Crave. It probably would have been 0 stars, but the peanut butter topping made it somewhat edible. I'm not sure what I'd have to roll with Crave to make a top tier bowl. Maybe some overdose of chocolate to drown out the cereal. I don't know, let's just hope we don't roll it again for a long time. Here's hoping for a 5-star bowl on Friday. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday, let's see if we can do better than Tuesday's bowl of Crave cereal. First up, let's roll for bowl. 4. Cheerios bowl. First time we rolled this bowl, it's kind of like a large mug more than a bowl. Cheerios sent me this bowl years ago. It's a bit too small for cereal in my opinion, but I'll eat out of it from time to time. Next up, star of the show, let's roll for cereal. 8. Apple Fritter. So we rolled Apple Fritter back in episode 18. This is a Walmart Great Value generic brand cereal. They have a Tim Hortons version of the cereal up in Canada. I personally love Apple Fritters and I think this cereal is really tasty, especially for a generic brand version. Okay, time to roll for wild cards now. 2. Roll for spices and 4. Roll for cereal. Interesting. Let's do spices first and hope for the best. 8. Cinnamon. I feel like we've been bailed out the few times we've rolled spices. This cinnamon is a great addition to an apple fritter cereal, which already has cinnamon in the ingredients. And now we have to roll for another cereal to mix in. 7. Cinnamon Toast Crunch Minis. So General Mills continues to make mini versions of their popular brands, Reese's Puffs, Trix, and now the Cinnamon Toast Crunch Minis. The box is not actually mini, but the cereal pieces are tiny, crunchy corn puffs dusted in that cinnamon sugar goodness. This is a great pairing with the apple fritter cereal. I'm going to mix them up in the bowl so they get combined here. And now it's time to roll for drizzle. 6. Apple. The dice gods are really on our side today. They must be feeling bad about giving me Crave last week. I don't think I could have asked for a better drizzle roll than this apple puree syrup. Let's hope we don't ruin it now with the roll for milk. 7. Cow's milk. Okay, I'm happy with that. I have this lactose-free and fat-free milk from Kroger. But before we pour the milk, we gotta see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes. Music it is. Let's break out the D30 and roll for music. 21. Lords of the Underground. Lords is a rap trio from Newark, New Jersey. The group consists of Do It All, Mr. Funky, and DJ Lord Jazz. Here Come the Lords was their debut album released in 1993. It was produced by hip-hop legend Marley Marl, and standout tracks include Chief Rocka and Funky Child. I played this album a lot when I was like 12 years old. Okay, let's hit this bowl with some lactose-free milk, and now it's the moment of truth. Will these apple and cinnamon ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal? You already know this one is a banger. We got really lucky today. The apple fritter cereal is delicious by itself, but with the sweet cinnamon toast crunch minis, that extra cinnamon and apple syrup, this all just comes together to make a delicious and really cohesive apple cinnamon treat. This one's gonna be another 5-star bowl, and I'll call it apple cinnamon fronut, like a fritter and donut combo. We're 22 episodes in, and that's our 5th 5-star bowl. I know some people like to watch me eat bowls with gross ingredients, and there will be more of that, but I prefer when these ingredients come together and make something delicious like this. Thanks for being along for the ride. Until next time, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Let's see if we can keep the 5-star bowl streak going from Friday. First up, let's roll for bowl. 2. Tupperware. This is just a plastic food storage container. I'm not sure of the brand name, but it's technically not Tupperware, so maybe I should rename this one. Anyway, next up, star of our show, let's roll for cereal. 5. Corn Pops. We've rolled Corn Pops before. This cereal was released by Kellogg's back in 1950. It's had a few mascots along the way. Our version here in the US, which is the original cereal, is irregular puffed sweetened corn pieces. The Canadian version is just little corn puffs, kind of like our Kix cereal here in the US. Okay, next up, let's roll for wild cards. 5. Roll for candy, and 10. Prize inside. So if you're a new viewer, Prize Inside is a small cereal box containing cards. Prizes, if you will. But just like prizes you used to get in cereal boxes, some are good, some are bad, and some are just neutral. Each card features a different original character that cereal heads will recognize as references to classic mascots. Each character gives us a task or unique ability. We'll draw one card and follow the instructions. The Leprechaun. This card says choose all ingredients, no rolls required. Must be played start of next turn, meaning next episode. So it'll sit here until then, and after it's played, it'll disappear, never to be played again. But now we have to return the cards to their box and get back to our current bowl. And for our second wild card, we have to roll for candy. 8. Pop Rocks. I love Pop Rocks, and I have this grape flavored pack here. Grape flavored candies are probably my favorite. Not sure how well it'll go with corn pops though. Next up, time to roll for drizzle. 1. Applesauce. Kind of a weird drizzle, not really a sauce in the traditional sense. I'll just take some spoonfuls of this applesauce and dollop it over the cereal. It makes the Pop Rocks kind of dissolve from the juices. Okay, last ingredient, time to roll for milk. 2. Strawberry milk. Sure, why not, I guess. Another flavor mishmash to add to this bowl. But before we pour the milk, let's see if we'll be listening to tunes or watching tunes. Cartoons it is. Let's break out the D30 and roll for tunes. 13. Snorks. So Snorks aired on NBC on Saturday mornings starting in 1984, and it was supposed to rival the success of the Smurfs. And it was on the air for 4 seasons. The show is about these colorful sea creatures that live in the undersea world of Snorkland. It never quite made the same splash as the Smurfs, but it was a fun, quirky cartoon. Alright, let's hit this bowl with some strawberry milk and moment of truth. Will these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal? So it's not bad. The Pop Rocks have pretty much dissolved, so you don't really get that fun popping sensation. The applesauce gives everything kind of a weird texture. The flavors aren't awful, but there's just too much going on to make this one a winner. I'm gonna give this one 3 stars, and we'll call it Lost in the Sauce. That's twice we've got an underwhelming bowl of corn pops, which is a shame because it's a great cereal. I'll see you on Friday when we'll get to use the Leprechaun card to choose all of our ingredients and hopefully be able to make a delicious 5-star bowl. I've already got a few ideas that I'm thinking about. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Today's video is a little different because last time we got Prize Inside and we drew the Leprechaun card. This card makes me choose all the ingredients from the list without rolling the dice, so I guess this is choose your cereal today instead of roll for cereal. Let's get things started, and we do not need the dice tower today, so we'll just move that out of the way. Let's take a look at our list of bowls, and we'll use the Leprechaun's magic to choose a bowl today. Obviously, we're going to go with the Spilt Milk Bowl. This is a squishy silicone bowl that I love eating cereal out of. It used to be available on Amazon, but I'm not sure where to get it now. Okay, let's move on to cereal now, and I'm going to choose Fruity Pebbles today since we haven't rolled that one yet, and it's one of my favorites. Pebbles cereal was introduced by Post back in 1971 with Barney and Fred Flintstone as the mascots. The fruity version started off with just orange, red, and yellow pebbles. Nowadays, it's a lot more colorful, and they have many pebble varieties over the years, but the original fruity version of this crispy flattened rice cereal is still one of my favorites. Okay, what should I choose for wild cards today? I want to make like a fruity sundae, so we'll go with whipped cream, and then I'm going to choose fresh fruit, and from that fresh fruit list, I think I'm going to pick strawberries because they're one of my favorite berries. So first we'll add the whipped cream to the bowl, and I have this non-dairy almond version of whipped cream here. I enjoy this just as much as the dairy version, and it's a good alternative for my fellow lactose intolerant friends. Then we'll take some fresh strawberries that I've chopped up into small pieces, and we'll scatter them on top of that whipped cream. Okay, now we have to pick the drizzle for this cereal, and staying with the fruit theme, I'm going to go with blueberry. Fruity Pebbles has kind of a citrusy vibe, so I think the sweetness of the blueberry puree syrup will be a good addition. And now lastly, we have to choose a milk. I'm going to go with my favorite milk alternative, almond milk. I know a lot of people would prefer regular milk, but I have almond whipped cream on here, and it's my bowl of cereal, so take that, haters. And before we pour the milk, we gotta choose if we're listening to tunes or watching tunes today, and I'm gonna choose music. Lots of great choices on this music list, but today I'm gonna choose Raekwon the Chef. He released Only Built for Cuban Links in August of 1995 with the first 10,000 tapes pressed in this transparent purple hue. It was known as the Purple Tape. I wrote an episode of Wu-Tang on Hulu about this classic album. It's one of my favorite solo Wu albums and arguably one of the best hip-hop albums of all time. Okay, let's hit this bowl with some almond milk and moment of truth. Will these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal? For me, this is top tier. I love fruit flavored cereals, and this one presses all the right buttons. If you look closely in this video, you can probably see the exact moment when I become a diabetic. But yeah, it's a really sweet bowl of fruity cereal, almost too sweet, but I still love it. I'm gonna give this one 5 stars and we'll call it Yabba Dabba Diabetes. I'm grateful we got that Leprechaun card because there are some not so good cards in that prize inside deck. I'm busy with work next week, so no Tuesday video, but on Friday, I'll be back rolling dice as usual with some updated lists that offer a few changes for more variety. Until then, stay crunchy. What's up, cereal heads? Welcome back to Roll for Cereal, a series inspired by Roll for Sandwich, where I let the dice help me craft a unique bowl of cereal from a mix of ingredients. Happy Friday, we have a few updates and changes today. Let's get started with the first one as we roll for bowl. You can see we have 12 options now for bowl and a new smoky die. We got 6 Cereal Time Bowl. First time we've rolled this personalized Cereal Time Bowl that I received from General Mills years ago. It's not a big bowl, but a good cereal bowl nonetheless. Next up, time to roll for cereal, where we have 10 options now. 8 Cocoa Puffs. I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This cereal was released by General Mills back in 1956. The mascot, Sonny the Cuckoo Bird, was introduced in 1962 along with his grandfather, Gramps. Gramps was dropped from the ads and Sonny still remains today. The cereal is little corn puffs like Kix or Trix, but with the chocolatey flavor that turns your milk chocolate. Next up, another change as we roll for wild cards. The list has been condensed to other ingredients that we can roll for. 6 roll for nuts and 8 roll for fresh fruit. Okay, let's roll for nuts first and see what we get here. 6 sliced almonds. First time we've rolled this. Almonds are usually a great addition to cereal. These sliced almonds should go well with Cocoa Puffs. Now let's roll for fresh fruit. Anything besides 1 or 2 should work. Another 6 bananas. I feel like we've gotten the bananas and chocolate pairing a couple times now. The dice gods must like that flavor combo. I'm gonna cut this banana up, add the slices to the bowl. Next up, we expanded the drizzle list, so now we have 20 options. Let's see what we get today. 7 apple cinnamon. I have this apple cinnamon cereal syrup that should add a little apple pie like flavor to this chocolate and banana bowl. Last ingredient now, time to roll for milk. 4 chocolate milk. That's probably the best milk we could have rolled, although Cocoa Puffs already turns your milk chocolatey without any help. Before we pour it, let's see if we'll be listening tunes or watching tunes today. Music it is. Still got the D30 here as we roll for music. 29 Nas. Anytime we roll Nas is a good day for me. Nasir Jones is a rapper from Queensbridge who first appeared on Live at the Barbecue by Main Source in 1991. Illmatic was his debut studio album released in 1994 and it became an instant classic. The album was produced by legends like Premier, Large Professor, Pete Rock, and Q-Tip. Nas is one of the best to ever do it and Illmatic is one of my favorite albums of all time. Alright, let's add this chocolate milk to the bowl and now moment of truth. Will these ingredients come together to create a great bowl of cereal? This is a pretty good bowl. It hits all the right notes with the flavors. Chocolate, bananas, and almonds make for a tasty combination, and the apple cinnamon drizzle just adds another layer of sweetness, but feels like there's something missing. Don't know what. I'll give this 4.5 stars and we'll call this one Cocoa Banana Bread. Almost a 5-star bowl. I'm not a huge chocolate cereal fan, so it's tough for me to give any chocolate cereal 5 stars, but this one was definitely a good one and easy to finish. I think the new list will help give us some more variety. I'll see you next Friday. Until then, stay crunchy.